45-50. He's down the sideline. 35-30. 25-20. 15, 10, 5. He's gone. Touchdown, Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Oi. It is Cincinnati week.
Yeah, again.
Part 2. Got the Bengals in Cincinnati. But we come off a very weird win.
Very weird win. No offensive points. Special teams and defense covered, was it 27 points total? Pretty interesting. Yeah, 2 defensive touchdowns, special teams. Yeah, very interesting. That's the only thing we can really say about it. Deshaun Watson's first week back, he looked rusty, as we could have all imagined, right? He didn't play his best ball. There's some flashes in there, though, and everything that we did see that were issues are pretty easily, fixed, and just chemistry problems and low throws. But other than that, man, he throws that ball quick. It looks like it would hurt. You know when you playing catch and someone just whips at you and kind of stings your hands.
Yeah,
that's what I feel like catching a ball from Deshaun Watson. Because those balls really zip, man.
I mean, you can really see it in practice that there's a lot of drops in practice. What people really don't think about is the rotation on the ball. It's different for every quarterback.
Yeah.
Deshaun's got a really tight spiral, so he's getting a lot of spins on that ball, where Jacoby, I would say, threw kind of like a changeup. It didn't have as much spin on the ball. So, I don't know. It's one of those things that it's very, I don't want to say minimal, but it's something to factor in. As far as chemistry and being a receiver,
yeah, it's different.
It's like a small thing you got to adjust to. As far as Deshaun playing on Sunday, definitely rusty, but I thought he was seeing the field really well. His awareness was definitely there.
He really evaded like he used to, too. Spin.
The one play that I think of is that little spin.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't even know, he had his back turned to him and he spinned out of it.
How?
Like eyes in the back of his head. 700 days and you still have a feel for that. I think he's still going to have some rust. Obviously, but I think people are overreacting a little bit to how he played.
Yeah, big time.
I think is because the offense played so poorly around him, and no one really gives the Texans defense any credit. I mean, these guys are really scrappy.
Yeah. Pressure was coming all game.
Yeah, they're a middle of the pack kind of defense that gets slept on. Their offense is awful, and we saw it on Sunday. But they
kind of remind me how we used to be, right? Our defense was always pretty solid. Our offense was atrocious for a decade, and that's how it really felt. It was like watching the Browns of old, really.
Yeah, I think a lot of it kind of comes from play calling again. I did not see, there wasn't a lot of, put them in the right position, first drive, you got them 3rd and 3 on their side of the field. What do? You throw the ball. Run the ball.
Yeah.
Run the damn ball.
Get the first down, extend the drive.
You're telling me this whole entire season, you're not going to go for it on 4th and 3?
Yeah.
You'll go for it on 4th and 8 at midway through the game, like the Tampa Bay game. You remember exactly when I said, the play that made me lose my shit and Amari Cooper dropped the ball? It was only midway through the 3rd quarter. They're acting like the game's over. You'll go for that to risk the game instead of okay, It's 4th down and 3. I have one of the deadliest run games in the league. You got a quarterback that can take off at any time.
Yeah.
You're telling me that you couldn't run the ball on 3rd or 4th down? I don't know. That blows my mind.
Yeah.
It almost feel like you didn't see enough of Deshaun to really I couldn't really get my mind wrapped around how he played because I don't think there was a much of a sample size.
Yeah.
It
kind of felt like it was like bowling with bumpers.
You're right.
It's kind of like Stefanski didn't really put him in any opportunities to really flash his skill set, which is, I get it. I think once they knew they were going to win this game, right? Once they knew they were going to win that game, they were like, hey, let's just get this the system, the play calling, get you comfortable in there. I get that, but there's some opportunity, and I was saying it. It's throw the ball downfield, see what you got, just do it. Stop doing these little dump passes. Give Deshaun Watson, see what he can do on his first game back. Because if you really want to make this year a thing, we're playing the Bengals this week. We need him to perform and win us this game. Help win us this game. So I don't know. It was an interesting week. Hopefully Deshaun could feel a little bit more comfortable and better this week, and our defense steps up, man, like they did last week. I don't think the defense was amazing as much it was that offense is just so freaking bad for the Texans. So hopefully the defense shows up this week, man, and Deshaun plays better, and our play calling just adjusts and just
right. I just feel like he wasn't. If you look at the first couple drives, there wasn't much to show of it because they didn't have much possession in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
First drive, they got the ball at midfield off of a weird interception.
That was extremely weird.
Yeah. You ran 3 plays. You punt the ball. Whatever. It happens. Second drive, first play. You throw. Perfect play drawn up. Anthony Schwartz takes it. He probably could have gone for 30. But no, he fumbles.
Yeah, his baby arms.
So
can't hold on to the freaking ball.
All right. I can't quite remember the third drive, but I don't remember it.
That wasn't the interception drive, was it?
I think it might have been.
I think it is, yeah.
The interception drive where if you take a look back at that interception, granted, I don't think Deshaun should have thrown that ball.
Yeah, I agree.
But that safety had to make a hell of a play to pick that ball off. He wasn't just standing there.
Yeah.
He had to jump back 10 yards to pick that off.
Yeah.
Within seconds. It was kind of really impressive. Because he went and covered the underneath route, and he was down at the goal line and jumped to the back of the end zone to cut off the Amari Cooper. So you're looking at from the top of the letters in the end zone from the goal line. That's almost 10 yards right there.
Yeah, and to cover that with the speed of Watson's, ball that he's throwing.
That ball was already out, and he was already jumping back, and he had to make a good play.
That's pretty crazy. Yeah, that timing was perfect.
It happens. I'm not going to oh, Deshaun, it's all right, man. He just made a good play. Okay, don't throw that, but
yeah,
it was still a really good play. And then, like you said, once they knew that they won the game, it was okay, just let him figure out where everybody's lining up.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't had that many reps in the starting offense, let alone in a game.
A week.
Yeah.
In a week.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. He's only been practicing with the practice squad guys basically for 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks. The 4th, I think it was the first.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's wild. So hopefully he's back and feels good. But yeah, in his post game press conference is really interesting because his football IQ is it's so apparent.
Yeah.
It's very high. But he's talking, he's a lot of it, it's just it's a new coach, new system. just hearing, Kevin in your ear, stuff like that, going through the formation is huge. It's a very fundamental thing, but like a coach is so vital to, what you hear, how he portrays and everything, is massive. So, I think that's going to help a lot too. So we're just really just getting the fundamentals down and understanding Kevin is, Deshaun understands him and, Kevin understands Deshaun kind of feel. So we'll see what happens, but that was basically covering last week.
Oh.
You want to go?
I got like, because
Okay.
we just talked about Deshaun. And
Okay, let's go.
I think that for back-to-back weeks now, you have a little life out of your weak links and the defensive side of the ball, which we talked about.
Yeah.
3 turnovers, that's wonderful. But the one that has gotten me is just special teams. Whether it's the punt game, Bjorkes was just placing it wherever he wanted.
Yeah.
They forced a fumble. Kicking field goals. I mean, you had 2 tries. Looked pretty solid. I didn't see any leaks in the blocking.
And the biggest thing, obviously, on special teams.
The punt returning has picked up, and the threat of Donovan Peoples-Jones, the way he's seeing the field right now has been top notch. I think the only thing that was not as great was kick return this past week.
Drove him forward.
Yeah, just a rough game for him. But I'm sure he'll bounce back. Every other game he's been pretty damn good.
Yeah.
But that being said, if they can carry that in to this week's game, special teams being a difference maker.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, every punt they're sticking them,
You're in good field position. I mean, like, you're putting yourself in good field position by just having a 10-yard return. Like, it's a big difference.
Yeah, if you pin him in between the 15, too, is super awesome.
You got someone... you like to hope you have someone that can at least catch the ball, and that's what's been the problem over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
It almost seems like it's been that ever since Josh Cribbs has left. That you're like, whenever a punt goes up, you're just like, oh my God, please.
Yeah, catch it.
So
just do a fair catch up.
Right. One special teams is one of those most overlooked parts of the game that can win you or lose you a game, and nobody really thinks about it.
Yeah.
So, and the thing is, you shouldn't have to think about it. It should be a given.
Yeah. Browns.
Yeah.
We've definitely had to think about it.
Well, it happens to a lot of teams. It's not
Green Bay. The special teams basically cost them their, a nice playoff run last year.
Right. But now, to carry on into the Bengals week.
One more thing. Defensively, Tony Fields, okay, that was very interesting. Second of all, Taki's out for the year.
Reggie Ragland, come on up. I like it.
Yeah. So, now the Bengals week.
Now Bagels.
The Bungles.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
They're coming off a very good win against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
That's where they scare me. But
Jamar Chase is back and look better than ever.
The Browns are, in the last couple years, are 5-0 against Joe Burrow. I don't know how long this is going to be able to go.
I don't know. Because the Bengals are really looking...
It's getting to the point where I'm just like, oh, come on. It's going to happen eventually.
We're on a thin wire, I feel. So, I don't know.
It's due to happen soon.
And Burrow's playing absolutely amazing. He just passed Josh Allen as, when you look at the quarterback stats, passing yards, passing touchdowns, he's number 2 in the league, right below Patrick Mahomes. So he's on fire. He's got his receiver back. The only issue, honestly, on the offense, if I see right now, is Mixon. He's still questionable.
And the offensive line is...
Oh, I mean, the offensive line's atrocious, yeah. I mean, if we're able to sack him like we sacked him last time 5 times or more, that's going to be the difference in this game. I really do think the more you sack Joe Burrow, I mean, especially with Garrett, Clowney. A lot of these guys are stepping up now. If we get to them, that's a difference maker that we need. It wastes time, wastes downs, and puts them way behind the sticks. So that's huge for me. But Mixon might play. It's probably he's going to play.
So I just think that the Browns have had Cincinnati's number the last few years. Do I think that time is coming to an end sooner than later? Yes. But I do think this is a game where the Bengals come off a big win and they might have that little big win hangover. But the Browns also come off a 2-game win streak where they might have that little hangover. But I think this is where Deshaun is the difference maker because now he's got 1 game underneath his belt. I think he knocked the rust off. Like he's got a feel for the game speed now. Just playing 1 game. I think the second game, I think he can only go up from there.
Yeah.
And if the defense can just give you what they gave you against Houston, which is not really saying too much because they basically gave you the ball, but just make stops when needed. Play that keep away game. Like you don't want Cincinnati's offense to have the ball, and this is where the run game comes in. So I'm throwing out a cowtail super early.
Let's do it.
We're going Nick Chubb again.
Yeah, let's go.
Pound the goddamn rock. Pound it down their throats. No remorse. Move the line of scrimmage. Get mean and nasty. This is the AFC North, goddamn it. It's December.
Yeah.
We're fighting for the division. There is light at the end of this tunnel. We just got to get there. We're talking this win can really flip this season on the head for a lot of teams.
Because then we would only be, what?
A game out.
A game out, yeah.
You look at this week's schedule. The Raiders went down last night due to Baker Mayfield's revival.
Which we needed.
Yes.
So thank you. You finally got us in a good spot.
The Jets are in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Sheesh. Baltimore is in Pittsburgh, possibly without Lamar.
Up to 3 weeks. He's not going to play. I highly doubt it.
So we're going to be waving our terrible towels on Sunday. New England's is in Arizona. And then the Chargers play the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah. So, things are looking interesting. We just
win the goddamn game.
We need to win this goddamn game.
This is the fucking Super Bowl. Seriously. Like
the Super Bowl of Ohio.
Like, okay, this is going to be a very hard game to win. I think at the moment, this is no discredit to any of the other teams that we play for the rest of the season. This is going to be the hardest game that they play because Cincinnati, they may be sitting at the 5th seed right now, but it's going to be hard for them to recover when you give up a win, dropping 2 games in the division, and already losing to 1 against the Steelers. And then you still got 2 against Baltimore. So their schedule does not get any easier from this point on. We talked about this last week. We'll talk about it again this week. The Browns just got to take care of business. And it's right there in front of them. Once again, I'm not saying they're going to go win out. But it's going to take help. But they got to take care of business. It's as simple as that. You can sit there and do math. But, I cannot believe, because we've had 2 stretches this season where it's like, we don't know how we're going to pull the season out. Like, are we just going to call it a wash? But it's like, it is still there for the taking. There is nobody in this division that's running away with anything.
Yeah, seriously.
That you can stop the Bengals right there in their tracks if you win on Sunday.
Yeah. And speaking of Sunday, I'm gonna throw Cowtell out here because I have to do this. Myles Garrett, have another huge game. Just stop Joe Burrow.
We're giving it to all the right people.
But they need it. These dudes need to step up to win this game, and these are the dudes that have to do it. And Myles Garrett, obviously Nick Chubb, and I mean, if you're gonna throw another one out, who is it?
Oh my God! Bring out that goofy ass hat that he wears. The most hated man in Cleveland. That probably, I hope, does not have a job.
No,
Joe Woods!
I'll say, bring out
Joe Woods! Bring out that goofy hat!
Or his little pencil that he hangs off his head. Oh.
Joe Woods, this is the game that you just got to call the right way.
Yeah. You have Ben, so keep it up. Keep it up, man.
I don't know what it is. Whatever his game plan is against Cincinnati, it always seems to be the right one. And I hope that he can do that again. One more goddamn time. One more, please. I want next week against Baltimore.
Without
Like,
Lamar.
you don't know how crazy that game is going to be. You go into that Baltimore game 6-7.
And basically Lamar is probably not playing.
Verse 8-5. You are literally fighting for the division.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like, come on. Please. God.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's crazy.
I know that we have a fucking demon for our quarterback. But please, let the Browns win on Sunday. Please.
Yeah, man. We'll obviously I said it's gonna be a tough week. A couple keys to the game. Obviously, have a really sound defensive.
Run the goddamn ball.
And run the damn ball. But defense needs to be really sound. They need to show up, and they need to play the Bengals like they've been playing the Bengals. And I think that's two huge things. And I think the third thing, Deshaun needs to just be better, play better. But number one here is this offensive scheme and the planning, the play calling needs to be fucking perfect. Just do the right thing, play smart football, call smart plays. And I don't see why we couldn't. If we just do those three things and a few players just show up, like, I can see us having a game like we did last time, just kind of almost a blowout against the Bengals. But
they're gonna be pissed.
They'd be pissed, but
they're gonna be pissed on Sunday. I think they're gonna. That's why I think it's gonna. They're gonna come out and try to throw the knockout punch right away. That's what they're gonna try to do.
Also, they tried to do last time, and then
that's where the Browns need to.
Well, you remember the second game last year, and they're like, oh, they got to win this game, and then Denzel Ward returned got an interception return for like 100 yards, a pick six. It was awesome. Remember that?
You gotta play keep away ball with this team.
Yeah.
That's all it is. That's all it is. Like the same thing with the Chiefs. If you want to make a comparison to any other sport, we got the World Cup on right now. I know you're not a big fan of soccer, but a lot of teams, it's most of the game is keeping possession and keeping the ball away from the other team.
Yeah.
You score a goal or a touchdown, then you go into this, you're not touching the ball for the rest of the game. And that's how it needs to be against the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, because if you let them touch the ball, they're going to take that and they're going to run with it, man. They'll take full advantage of whatever you give them. And they can easily swing it in their favor and just really blow us out.
Like, seriously, if they win this week, I'm going to be berserk on their next video. If they lose, oh well. I just want them. I cannot stress how much I do not want them to come out flat. If they lose this game by a field goal, whatever. Like, it is what it is. But I do not want to go into Cincinnati and lose by 20. I think their record is just like awful. They should definitely be in a better position. We could talk about that all, all off season. That's all we're going to talk about. Oh, well, 2 games, this and that went our way, blah, blah,
But it
blah.
didn't. It didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
It didn't happen. So,
but you have the right now, you had the time to correct that. You have it right in your hands to correct that. Those 2 games ain't going to matter if you scratch your way into the playoffs in the late season run. I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but it has become. It's a reality.
But you're saying there's a chance.
Yes. 1 in a million. I want to desperately make love to you like a schoolboy. Or no, I want to desperately make love to a schoolboy. You're telling me there's a chance. Now, if you're taking it out of context, Dumb and Dumber. Yes.
Yeah.
So you're telling me there's a chance.
Perfect. So, prediction-wise, what are you thinking? Score?
Oh, God.
This is a really hard one to predict, man.
31-28 Bengals.
Woo. Okay.
And your happy ass, 24-21 Browns.
I'm going to say a weird one. I'm going to say 24-14. Browns.
No! This man going
I got to go with them, man. I have to.
All right, well.
Have to.
We got to wrap this one up.
Yeah.
Because it is a work day.
Yeah.
We got to put our work hats on, as every Browns fan does, because it's a blue-collar town. We don't root for cheating teams. We don't root for these fucking shows on turf. We don't go out there and wear our Cowboys jerseys every week. We don't hoist our Lombardi trophies because we don't have any.
None.
We don't talk about the last 5 years we've been in the playoffs.
Mm-mm.
We talk about how bad we've been the last 20 years. We can get it right. We can get it right one goddamn time. Doesn't matter how you do it.
You're like inspirational right now.
It doesn't matter how you do it. We're Cleveland. We're blue collar. We work hard for our fucking money. As our team should represent how we come and live our lives every single day. We need to win on Sunday to just make it right for the fans. Give yourself a slim chance to get in the playoffs. You win and you keep it going in the middle of winter. Make these motherfuckers come to Cleveland, have to play in the goddamn snow, or in the cold, in the wind, or in the rain. We want this. We want this.
Absolutely. I'm inspired, dude. I gotta get you on book on tape or something.
Come on! Come on! Go Browns.
Go Browns.
Deshaun? Yes.